Disney's Riviera Resort has always been a favorite of mine. Even before staying here, it's been a dream resort for me to stay at. This summer, I was able to stay there for a couple nights during what was a work trip for me. So I'm here to share some honest feedback and what that experience was actually like so you can see if it would maybe be a good fit for you and your family. Hey, I'm Kinsey, a Disney-loving mama and travel agent who helps families tailor their Disney vacations to fit their budget, pace, and personalities. Please hold while I grab my coffee. I don't know what it is today. It's like 1:30 right now, but I'm dragging a little bit, so I gotta get my caffeine in. That's beside the point. We're going to start with, just like I do the other resort overviews, what Disney says about this resort. So with the overview, it says, enchantment awaits you at a resort hotel that's inspired by Europe and imagined by Disney. Here you can delight in exhilarating activities, delectable dining, and stylish accommodations, from cozy tower studios to spacious villas with up to 3 bedrooms. So it's Europe Riviera themed, hence Disney's Riviera Resort. There's multiple dining options here, which we're actually going to dive into as part of the overview. They have multiple pools here, and then it is going to be a Skyliner resort. So the transportation here is bus and Skyliner. As I mentioned, I stayed here last summer with some fellow friends / travel agents during one of our travel agency work trips. So this was my first time staying at Disney's Riviera Resort. We stayed in a 1-bedroom villa, preferred view. I have visited Riviera multiple times, even though this was my first time staying. Like I said, it's been a dream of mine to stay at this resort. Even visiting it, have loved everything about it so far. So I am really excited to share an overview of my honest feedback and my pros and cons of my experience. Again, I do have to say that I absolutely love this resort. I loved it before I stayed here. I love it even after staying here. And I cannot wait to stay here again in the future. As a Skyliner girly, which you may know if you've been here for some of the previous videos, I have stayed at Art of Animation and Pop Century multiple times. So being on that Skyliner, I've visited Riviera multiple times and even eaten at one of their restaurants, Bar Riva, before. I've had eaten at Topolino's Terrace before staying here. So I've been to the Riviera multiple times and was just so excited to stay here. So we're gonna dive straight in to the pros. Loving this resort so much overall, there is a lot of pros for me, but of course, again, if you've been here for previous videos or for a little bit, you know that I am a Skyliner girly. So my first pro is that this is on the Skyliner route. So you're able to take the Skyliner to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Any transportation outside of the bus is a pro to me. I do appreciate the fact that Disney has complimentary transportation, bus or not. It's just my least favorite of the 4 options. So having the Skyliner and it being my favorite option is definitely a big pro of this resort. You can take it to, like I said, Hollywood Studios or Epcot, but you can even take it to do some resort exploring on a break day during some downtime. You can go visit Pop Century, you can go visit Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, you can technically visit, or you can even walk to it from Riviera, depending on what you're going for. But not only that, you can even, if you're taking the Skyliner to the Epcot stop, you can go visit the resorts on the boardwalk as well. So overall, the Skyliner just brings a lot of flexibility into some of the options for your trip. The next pro is going to be the theming and amenities. Seriously, this resort is just absolutely gorgeous. As we mentioned in the Disney explanation overview, it is themed to that Europe Riviera vibe. And so it's really pretty relaxing. Everything about it drew me in again before I even stayed there. So staying there really just immerses you in all of that. And then on top of that, the resort is right next to the water. You can oversee almost the whole Caribbean Beach resort. You can see the Skyliner. It makes for gorgeous, gorgeous views during like sunsets and different things like that. And the resort has amazing amenities and options for families. Not only do they have multiple pools, with one of the pools being like the main pool with a slide, a splash pad over next to it, and then they have more of a quiet pool if that's kind of the vibe you're going for. But they also have multiple lawn games where you can just go and relax, take some break time, take a break from the pool and go back, whatever you want to do. There's just a lot to do right there at the Riviera during a resort or break day, where you could spend almost the whole day there and then You wouldn't even have to leave, honestly, Riviera, but it would be perfect to spend a whole day there and do like an evening at Disney Springs. There's just so many options that they have, and those lawn games and stuff you can even enjoy if you're not staying at the Riviera. So we've been able to enjoy some of that anytime we've gone over there to just kind of explore or eat as well. The third pro is the dining options, and not only do they have multiple dining options, they have multiple experience options. So they have sit down options, quick service options, and all of their options are great food. So they have Bar Riva, which is kind of by the pool, but it's got like an open concept overlooking the pool, overlooking the water, everything. So I love that vibe, being able to sit in there, have the openness of the air. I'm a big outdoor summer weather girl. So having a cocktail in there or just eating dinner in there. We've eaten dinner there kind of around the sunset time, and being able to have that just there, not only being able to feel the weather coming in, but then being able to see the sunset right there. It's just so vibey. That's the only word that I feel like explains it. But then the food is delicious. Like, I've had multiple things from there, my favorite being the burger, and the burger is like one of my favorite things to eat on property. Just really great overall review of Bar Riva specifically. Then they also have Topolino's Terrace, which is a sit-down restaurant, and it's one of the most raved about, most popular character breakfast dining options at Walt Disney World. If you've seen the Topolino's Terrace, it's got Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy and their little paint artist get up. We have done that once. We really enjoyed it. And then they have kind of a more fancy upscale-ish dinner option as well, which I haven't had their dinner, but I have heard really good things about it. I've even heard people liking it better than the breakfast. So again, another amazing option right there at the resort. Plus, since it is the terrace, you can walk right out there and be like on the rooftop, being able to see all the things. You can even see Epcot fireworks from there. You can see over all of Caribbean Beach, the Skyliner. Like, it just really has some great views at Riviera overall, but especially in different areas depending on what you're looking for. Along with Topolino's and Bar Riva, they also have Primo Piatto, which I haven't personally eaten at yet, but again, I've only heard people rave about this, and people even go back and just eat the same things. They specifically go to Riviera to eat this food. And then of course, La Petite Cafe, which is one of the more popular resorts on property as well. Again, people literally go to Riviera just to get coffee from this coffee shop. So having all of those options right there at your resort, all of these great dining locations that people go to Riviera just to have, staying there and having them all at your fingertips is such a pro of the Riviera Resort specifically. Fourth pro is the space and amenities. Again, we stayed at a 1-bedroom villa. It was preferred view. But before I dive into some of those options and what was available there, I'm just gonna show you before we talk about them. So here's a quick room tour for you. This room, as you can see, has so much space, especially for a family staying like a week or so at Disney World, because you kind of have your space, you're kind of spaced off. So you have that 1-bedroom where the adults can stay. You have the living area that you can all enjoy, but then that's where the bed is going to come down, turn into a second room. So everybody has their own room essentially. And you can still use the living space. Like, it's a very easy Murphy bed to pull down and pull back up during the day if you're planning to hang in your room a bit. Has a very spacious dining and kitchen area. I will say my last resort review I did was a 1-bedroom villa at Polynesian Tower. I feel like the dining kitchen area specifically was so much bigger or had more space. Like, it was just spaced better with the way the table was set up versus where the kitchen area was. I will say between those two, the one at the Poly Tower did have 2 bathrooms, which is a huge pro. This one didn't have 2 specifically, but it was split up in a way that if you have a family with multiple people getting ready, you can still have multiple people getting ready in different spaces. So there was like a sink area with the shower and the toilet, and then there was a bathtub area with like a double sink, essentially, as you could see. But so there was still a lot of space for multiple people getting ready, even though there wasn't 2 specific bathrooms. I felt like there still would have been plenty of space, especially for me and my family of 4. Like, it would have been great. We would have had the bath for the girls, the shower for us, and then we still would have had some separate space if somebody needed to go to the bathroom while someone else was like, if the girls needed to go to the bathroom while I was putting makeup on or whatever, we still would have had separate space there. Not to mention with this resort, I believe, I might be misspeaking here, but I believe like every single room has a balcony or patio. And with the way the resort is set up, I feel like you can't really get a bad view. Technically on one side of the resort, you're overlooking the parking lot, which it doesn't sound great, but you're also looking towards Epcot. So a lot of those rooms, depending on exactly where you're at, you can sometimes see the Epcot fireworks from your balcony. And then the other side, you're overlooking Caribbean Beach and the Skyliner, the water, everything. So I just feel like most of those patios and balconies also have amazing views no matter where you're staying. Diving in over to the cons, and as you can probably guess from the way I'm talking about Riviera, I don't have many. The first one I have to say is basically the price / category of this resort. So it is a deluxe villa resort / DVC resort. So it's definitely higher in price, which is a con if you're going with like a family of 4 or 5. You might not want to spend that money on the villa that would give you enough space. They do have tower studios, so if you're going for like a couples trip or something, it wouldn't have a bunch of room in that tower studio, but you wouldn't need a whole lot of room if it's just 2 of you and you're gonna be doing other things around the resort, around the parks, etc. So it is nice that there's some options, but overall it's definitely going to be on the higher of the budget side. And then with it being a DVC resort, sometimes the availability is a little lower or harder to get. And again, I feel biased here, but that's really the main con I have. The only other con that I would say is that the next time I stay there, and something that I would suggest maybe considering if you plan to stay there is just requesting a room that's higher. And normally I feel like with families, especially little ones, I would say request a lower room so you can just stroll the stroller right on in, which I get, but we did stay on the floor level. And I would have just really preferred a balcony at Riviera specifically. We didn't have a horrible view. We were overlooking like the water area heading to the Skyliner, but it just felt like people were very close to us when they walked by. There were some trees there. So just with everything that's around the Riviera and some of those options, I would have preferred to have a higher room to be able to have better views from the balcony. And with my girls, again, I didn't stay there with my family this time, but if I had my girls in the stroller, with Riviera, they do have elevators inside, so I can go inside, I can go up the elevator. It's not gonna be overly complicated, even having a higher floor. So that's just kind of my one con, is I didn't love the personal placement of where our room was at, but it didn't by any means ruin the experience. It's just something that going into my next time I would stay there, I would request something a little higher because that's my preference. I would love to sit on the balcony, have a coffee, have a drink, whatever, and just be able to take in the view. Overall, obviously, I really enjoyed my stay there, and I would still consider this kind of like my dream favorite resort so far, and I cannot wait to stay here again. As a reminder, part of my complimentary travel services are making sure that we're running through all of the options, things that you're wanting to consider, and helping choose the right resort for you and your family and the vacation that you're looking for. That being said, I will leave my planning link below if you're ready to get started. If this was helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe below for more resort overviews and some really fun things coming your way for the rest of 2026. I plan to be staying at 4 different resorts between now and the end of the year at minimum, and 3 of them are new to me, and the 4th one's Pop Century, which I've talked about a bit, but It's been a while since I stayed there, so I haven't shared any room tours or overviews, and they recently updated it. So I have a lot coming your way in regard to vlog, review, information, findings, mistakes. I'm sure all the things are gonna be coming with some of my upcoming trips. So subscribe below. I would love to have you follow along and answer any questions that you might have along the way in planning your trip. And speaking of questions, be sure to comment below if you have any questions specifically about Riviera Resort, and I would love to help you answer those. Until next time, keep chasing the moments that make your family's magic. Bye.